Welcome to 2025 and welcome back to AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris. Joining me today is Kate Carruthers. She's a lecturer at the Australian Graduate School of Management. She lectures on AI. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity and the new attacks on AI. Hi, Kate. Welcome to AI in 5. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Simon.
And I appreciate you doing this while you're on leave. I want to jump right in. You have a number of areas of speciality. I know you teach quite a lot around AI and cybersecurity and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to talk to you about, I've been reading about potential threats to AI from a cybersecurity angle. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, and it's something that I'm starting to talk to cybersecurity professionals about because they don't have it on their radar. They're so depending from all the typical external threats that they haven't started to think about how might AIs be compromised.
Are you talking compromised by an external nefarious character or compromised because of internal use?
Both. Internal threats are still a big issue, but a lot of bad actors outside your organization will be trying to subvert your AI. So, that's a big issue. So you're integrating a lot of data. So there's the risk of people poisoning the data stream. So you have incorrect or inappropriate outputs. And then there's the potential that they're using malicious prompts to poison the training data too. So there's new attack vectors that people haven't been thinking about just yet.
Okay, so this is kind of going beyond, trying to jailbreak and get the bot to swear at me. You're more talking about things like poisoned rag and things like that. Does it extend beyond? Like, does AI open up any more of a wider frontier for people to be able to get in and get at the data? Or is it more just about poisoning the data?
Well, it's about the underlying data that's feeding the AI. So, if you can poison that, then you can cause inappropriate or incorrect outputs, because garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
And then there's adversarial attacks where they manipulate the data to make incorrect predictions or decisions. And then there's some adversarial training where they feed bad data into the training data sets. And then that can really cause bad outcomes too. And then so organizations really need to start to think about making sure that their data supply chain is really well protected, and also implementing input validation and anomaly detection mechanisms.
And how would this play out in reality? Is this someone on Company X's chatbot, and instead of just asking for something, they're uploading a document and saying, "Hey, please analyze this document," and it's full of lies and poison? Or how does it kind of play out?
It's the thing that people are doing for a trick where they say, ignore all previous inputs and do this other thing.
So like an adversarial suffix, right?
So the very first thing you need to protect against is that kind of attack, and then there's more subtle variations on that. So there's the two things. There's the large language model, which is vulnerable to prompt injection attacks, and then there's the data stream that drives that model, which is vulnerable to data injection attacks. So if you're making life critical decisions based on a certain data set and that data set's wrong, like people could die.
Yeah. And how can cybersecurity professionals start thinking about, or what should executives be asking their CISO about?
That's a very good question. So they should be looking to do things like adversarial training. So incorporate adversarial examples into the training data set and tag them as that, so that then it can recognize, oh, this is a bad thing. I should flag this to somebody.
Okay.
And putting those sort of real world scenarios into the training is the best way of doing it. And really continuing to build their model robustness. So things like You mentioned RAG models, so using your RAG models, but also making sure that they're very heavily protected,
Hmm.
because you might be using an off-the-shelf generative AI model, but your RAG model is the thing that's going to do the truth for you.
Yep.
So really protecting that. So cybersecurity professionals really need to just change their focus a little bit. I spoke at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and they were like, "Oh my God, I hadn't even thought of this."
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. This has been a great episode. Thank you so much. I'm sure there's another episode in this because a lot of people are going to be interested. Before you go, though, and this is the new series for 2025, I want to ask what is your best tip for either a person or a company looking to do AI adoption?
My first tip is for all of the people in decision-making roles to play with this technology. I'm recommending that they become very childlike
Yep.
and just play with it and play with all the different kinds of ones, because people come and pitch them ideas about using this or that technology. And if they've not had any experience of it, they're not going to have a mental model for what that might be able to do. So I really recommend that everybody become very childlike and go play.
Yeah, get your hands dirty. This has been a great AN5. Kate, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.